Take part 2. I failed at doing this last time, and I'm doing this now again. Now, yes, I'm doing a Demon Slayer What If. This is my first Demon Slayer What If that I'll be doing. Or my first time doing a Demon Slayer What If. I don't think I've ever done Demon Slayer on this channel, and I would really like to try it. Now, because this is my first time doing a Demon Slayer What If, I'm not gonna really get into the rules of this universe. Really, I'm gonna do what I need. Just gonna do the what if, how I want and the way I want it, because it's my first time. So I'm not gonna really follow any guidelines of even the story if I have to. Yes, I'll follow the story obviously, but I'll change a lot of things as I go. So some parts of this what if you won't understand because it never happened in Demon Slayer. So yeah. Now let's begin this what if. Oh yeah, and before we can begin, quick, quick change. I don't know what the dance is called again, but it's the fire-breathing dance that Tanjiro's father knows. I'm gonna change that dance. Now I'm gonna change it. Instead of just being fire breathing, it's also gonna be a mixture of water, wind, earth, lightning, and sun and moon. Why? Because I want it to be like that. I want it to be all basic breathing styles, plus the two strongest breathing styles being fire and moon. Because I want him to know the I want him to know all basic breathing styles, which is thunder, water, earth, fire, and wind, and also learn sun and moon. And also, quick statement, I don't know any of the breathing techniques. I don't know any of the breathing techniques, so I'm gonna make up breathing techniques. I'm gonna make a lot of breathing techniques up. And yes, you're gonna be like, Rogue What Ifs, that breathing technique doesn't exist in Demon Slayer. You can't do that. Well, it does now, because I'm making them up in this What If. This What If will hold a lot of new techniques, a lot of new different breathing techniques that will be fused with basically different breathing techniques, I guess. And also subcategories of breathing techniques, such as, I think, what's it called? I think it was ice. No, that's a fan creation. Ice breathing is a fan creation. Bamboo breathing, I think it was bamboo breathing, also as part of canon, I think. Insect breathing, beast breathing, and so on and so forth. They all had to start somewhere, and they started at the basic breathing styles, obviously, of thunder, water, fire, wind, and earth. So yeah, plus also moon and sun. Now, I'm also going to state Nezuko knows this dance as well, because because Nezuko and Tanjiro taught each other. Their father taught Nezuko and Tanjiro because Nezuko and Tanjiro were interested in the dance. I don't know how young Nezuko was, but I'm just gonna age Nezuko up to be like, if Tanjiro was 5, I'm gonna age her up at least 2, should be 3. She's at least 4. She's at least 4. Or, no. So they're gonna learn the dance at the age of... Tanjiro's gonna learn how to do the dance at the age of 6. And then his father dies at the age of 8, giving him the earrings. Hold up, I'm going through my notes here. Yes, and then Tanjiro's the one that teaches Nezuko the way to do the dance at the age of Sycamore 6 as well. And yeah, Nezuko will be 4, so hold up, I'm thinking here. Yeah, Tanjiro will be 8. Yeah, I was right. I aged Nezuko up so Nezuko can be 2 years younger than Tanjiro. That's it. So yeah. Continuing on this what if. Now that I got all the basics out of the way and things that are going to happen, I'm also going to remind you that because I'm doing my own thing in this what if, the story of Demon Slayer will be a little bit different, or a lot different, depending on how you take it as. So Tanjiro is going to meet a few people early into the what if. Tanjiro is also going to fight a few demons that wasn't in the story. Yeah. And also some demons I'm going to make up with their own power sets, but yeah. Now let's continue. Also, oh, I keep on forgetting this. I need to remind myself this. Nezuko's power set and her demon abilities is also going to change. So yeah. Let's get in finally into the what if. Tanjiro is at the age of 5. And for all his life, he has remembered his father on every New Year's Eve I think it was New Year's night to New Year's Eve. His father does a dance. Elegant, quick, strong, fierce, rough, and calm. And he never gets tired. His breathing is calm. It's even. And he always never gets tired. He never stops. Even if he's an old, sickly, brittled man, he would dance in the cold of New Year's night till all the way of the evening, New Year's morning. In the cold, every New Year's. And Tanjiro would get inspired by his father, of his determination and his seemingly infinite stamina that he has when he dances. As Tanjiro asked one day, Papa, how do you dance like that? I mean, you don't get tired at all. How do you do it? As his father would say something interesting. It's in the breathing, Tanjiro. My dance all links up with my breathing. And so long as I breathe, I will never get tired. And I can do that dance for all my life, until the day I die. But if you're so curious of the dance, I can teach you if you want. As Tanjiro is like, yes please, please teach me. Okay, Tanjiro, but not now, when you get older. Maybe next year. As Tanjiro is like, okay, as he looks down. I would say at the age of 6, his father starts teaching him the dance. He would do the dance obviously on New Year's, and after taking a bit of rest from doing the dance, he would teach Tanjiro the ways of the dance and how to keep his breathing in doing certain things. His father told him, when you're doing quick strike motions, take one breath in and hold it, as this would be a sort of breathing technique for the thunder. As he would also learn about earth, water, fire, and wind. His father would split the breathing. His father would split the different techniques from within the dance into different breathing techniques that he mentions: fire, water, lightning, wind, and earth. The heavy ones being earth, the quick ones being lightning, the others being moving around like water. Or the breathing technique for water. The quick, elegant air motions, or basically jumps and basically spins in the air, being wind. And yeah, I think I covered everything. He would also teach him the ins and outs of the different techniques, such as the infinite breathing fire, the infinite breathing for flame, and also the sun breathing and moon breathing. As he would say, Tanjiro, did you know this dance can also be used in combat? As Tanjiro is like, wait, what? So you say the dance can be used to fight people? As his father states, yes, the dance can be modified to be used as a way of fighting. If you wanted, if you want to protect yourself and you feel in danger, use this dance and use the different skills and movements from within this dance to defend yourself. If you feel ever in danger, Tanjiro, remember that. As yes, he would master this dance at the age of 7, but his father would die at the age of 8. His father giving him his earrings and saying his last goodbye, and remember and telling him whenever he is in danger to perform the dance and fight off the threat that puts him in danger. Remember this, Tanjiro, as his father would say his last goodbyes and leave this world into the afterlife. As Tanjiro would obviously be sad, but he wouldn't let him down. He would start taking up the role of performing the dance every New Year's Eve to New Year's morning, not getting tired, and also sharpening his techniques and even practicing his techniques, such as the quick jabs, the heavy movements, and even the swift aerial movements, and much, much more. His sister, Nezuko, at the age of 5, has also got interested in what Tanjiro does, as she asked if Tanjiro could train her. Tanjiro states that he'll train her at the age of 6 because he remembers his father training him at the age of 6 as well, as she agrees and obviously continues watching. At the age when Nezuko turns 6, he would teach Nezuko the ins and outings of the breathing technique. Nezuko getting the hang of the breathing technique much more earlier. But the difference is, instead of Nezuko using any stick or basically object in his hands, Nezuko wouldn't. She would use just her fist and try to basically do it without any object in her hands, making a sort of new style of dancing, or different technique that doesn't involve any weapon or any object within a person's hands. It only revolved around the person's fists. I don't really know how old Tanjiro was. I don't really know how old Tanjiro was when he left to go sell the bag of coal. But yeah, I'm just saying Tanjiro is 14 and Nezuko is 2 years younger, so Nezuko is 12. As Tanjiro would be going off to sell the basically thing of coal that he has in his bag. As he would go off, Nezuko already by this time would know and create her own form of dance that sometimes she would dance as well on New Year's Eve to New Year's morning with Tanjiro. Them two being quite in sync, basically being in sync with one another when they dance. They don't dance the same movements, they don't do the same actions, and they don't even bump into each other. They move around each other gracefully, basically doing their own movements like they are dancing with one another, till New Year's Eve, till New Year's morning. Nezuko by this time has also joined in on that, so just quick statement. As Tanjiro sells his coal, helps out in the village. It grows dark as a man offers for Tanjiro to stay in his home. Man-eating demons lurk out at night, and he wouldn't want to be outside at night alone. Tanjiro agrees eventually, as he sleeps the night by this man's house, heading home as he catches a whiff of blood. Catch a whiff of blood. He also hears the door from very far away. He also hears the door basically banging constantly, and Tanjiro grows scared. He rushes in. He rushes towards his house as he sees the sight that terrifies him. His family is murdered in cold dead blood, but one is still alive, Nezuko. But Nezuko is very battered and bruised, like she put on one heck of a fight. Also, another person's corpse is lying on the floor. This person with different punch marks and different, basically, punch marks on his bodies all the way to his head that's been kicked in by something. As Nezuko has blood on her hands, as it looks like she gotten into a struggle. And whatever she fought, she made sure that that thing went running very badly injured. As he would pick up Nezuko, seeing that she still has a bit of life in her, and that she will survive if he gets her to a haven, a safe haven. As he would rush all the way, basically doing the same thing in canon, rushing into the snowy forest, looking for help. As he would continue running, he would fall down into a forest and land in basically snow. Being saved by the snow and cushioning his fall, he would stand up, looking around, looking for Nezuko. As Nezuko would get up, as he would try to help her up as much as he can, until she tries to bite into him. As he would ask, Nezuko, what are you doing? Snap out of this. This isn't you. As Nezuko doesn't understand what she's doing either. She is conscious, and she can see what she's doing, but she can't control herself. Her thirst for blood is too much. As as I would state that she would be crying as she looks into Tanjiro's eyes, while biting into the axe that Tanjiro has. As we see, obviously, instead of the water Hashira, we see three of them. The three Hashiras being... No, not three, four. The four Hashiras being... The three Hashiras that you could see from a distance being the Insect Hashira, Water Hashira, and Fire Hashira, Rengoku as well. Also, the fourth Hashira being the Wind Hashira. I think he's the Wind Hashira. Him being the final Hashira that was there. Why are the Hashiras there? And why are four of them here? Somebody or some demon slayer spotted Mizon, or Muzan, I think it was Muzan Kibuchiki, in this location, and they informed the Demon Slayer Corps immediately. These four demon slayers were closer to the location that Muzan Kibutsuki was basically at, as they rushed over here immediately to deal with Muzan Butsuki, the king of demons, immediately. But that didn't happen. As also, this is a big change, because instead of one Hashira being here, it's four of them. How would this go? I wonder. Also, something's happening to Nezuko. Her ears that Nezuko had, she doesn't have normal human ears anymore. She has fox ears, from what they can see. She also has claws and her teeth are more sharper now, resembling a form of animal or fox. As obviously, instead of the water Hashira striking first, Rengoku strikes immediately, trying to cut off the demon slayer, the demon's head. Tanjiro grabbing Nezuko by the throat, putting her down on the floor and ducking, basically avoiding the slash. That basically, it doesn't cut his hair, it cuts a few strands of it. As Tanjiro would grab his sister, stating that it's fine, she's my sister. As Tanjiro would ask, "Who are you and why are you here?" As he would be pinning down Nezuko, as Nezuko would stop fighting. As I would state that the Wind Hashira, obviously, would knock this human off the demon slayer, off this girl, and grabs the demon ready to impale her. As Nezuko was about to fight back, until Tanjiro yells, "Let my sister go!" As he would stand up and charge at the Wind Hashira, Insect Hashira getting in the way and parrying his attack, stating, "Young man, we do not wish to fight you. This demon needs to be slain, and we are looking for a potential very dangerous demon that is here." As Nezuko is like, you mean the thing that entered my house, killed my family, and turned my sister into that? That thing is long gone. Now let my sister go. You're not gonna lay a finger on her." As he would charge back at her, basically ready to swing, trying for them to at least release his sister from their grasp. As this would also fail because the Water Hashira would strike him at the back of the head, realizing that he has one hell of a noggin. Now Tanjiro still has that birthmark and one hell of a head that is basically harder than steel, but I'm not going to continue on that. As I would say that I don't know his name, the Water Hashira's name. The Water Hashira would state, "Young man, she's a demon now. She's no longer your sister. Let her go." As Tanjiro would realize that he cannot fight them head on. He needs to fight them with strategy in order to save his sister. He will not lose another family member again. Not when he has a chance to save one of his family. As he would grip his axe or his tomahawk, axe, tomahawk, one of the two, as he would pick up a stone, stating, "I won't let you," as he would rush into the forest, rushing around the four Hashira. Rengoku would be the one to react to try to attack Tanjiro, but Tanjiro would throw a rock. But something odd happens. It misses Rengoku, but it moves pretty fast, emanating a streak of yellow lightning as well it moves. This would catch the attention of the Water Hashira especially, because he's the only one that took note of the rock, that had seemingly some breathing technique to it. As the rock would hit the tree, as this rock instantly gains speed as it starts speeding across the trees, hitting every tree while circling them as well. Bam, 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 bam. As this rock seemingly bounced between tree to tree to tree, basically around the Hashiras, as it also leads a very wide blue streak of lightning. This would basically catch Rengoku's attention, basically cutting off his attack on what he was about to do. I would state that instead of Tanjiro having one axe, he would have two of them, as he would throw one of them in the air. One of them being the embodiment of water, as he would basically go underneath the streak of lightning stone that is bouncing from tree to tree, as he would attack the Wind Hashira. As when the insect Hashira was about to parry, I would state that that lightning rock hits the insect's Hashira's sword. She's like, ah! As the rock was moving very fast, so it was basically like a streak of lightning that was going across tree to tree. As he was about to strike the wind Hashira until the wind Hashira parries his attack. As he moves his axe to his side and hits basically Tanjiro in the face, or just punches Tanjiro in the face with seemingly no emotion. As Tanjiro gets sent back, as I would state that he would kick the wind Hashira. As in this like brief slow motion moment, the water Hashira or like Goku was about to grab Nezuko until an axe nearly cut off his arm. Bam! It came from the sky. As Tanjiro would turn around and attack the water Hashira because he was the closest to Nezuko next. As obviously this would fail, but Tanjiro got what he did. Basically did what he wanted. He freed his sister, and now he has a chance to escape. As his sister would basically drop to the floor, he would pick her up bridal style and start running. Using the quick motions of the thunder technique that is included in the dance, he would be speeding off. As the Hashira would follow pursuit, being more faster than him obviously. But he's giving them one hell of a chase. As he would rush deeper into the forest, as the insect Hashira would come from the sky, jumping on his back and knocking him out with a kick to the face. Bam! Nezuko would finally reawaken from her slumber that she was in, as she would stand up, seeing Tanjiro on the floor and this girl with a sword on top of her. She would growl as she would see her brother in danger, and this would piss her off. She goes to engage the insect Hashira as Rengoku gets in the way. She would dodge Rengoku's attack before it took off her head. As I would state that she would pull back her fist while breathing in, as imminence of flames comes off her fist as she would attack the flame Hashira as he would block with his sword. Bam! Fire hits fire. As Rengoku would be surprised seeing a fire breathing style but not using a sword, as she would pull back her other fist as it would emanate lightning, as it was a quick punch to the face that sent Rengoku a bit back, but didn't injure him really. As lightning would emanate from her feet, basically using some form of breathing style, quickly moves to Tanjiro and basically removes this person off of her brother. As what it looks like she was about to eat Tanjiro or going to kill Tanjiro, she didn't. She stood by him as in a person to protect her big brother. As this is what surprised them the most, that she doesn't want to kill this human, so she still has a bit of humanity in her, and some odd breathing style. As I would state that Nezuko would grip her hands as 9 tails would appear at the back of her, as they would all ignite in blue flame. On the tip of her tail, blue flames would be ignited, as she would pull out her ears and be ready to attack. The Hashira, not knowing if she has a blood art or not, would obviously get back slightly as they would attack. Rengoku being the first one and the Water Hashira being the first one to engage, while the other two go around her. They don't know how strong she is, so they're not going to take any risk. As I would say that this battle went on for a while, as they only got an opening when she was distracted by basically faking out that they were gonna hurt Tanjiro. But really they needed to knock her out, as that's what they did. Bam, knockout. Nezuko drops to the floor, lights out. As I would say that they would wait there until they wake up. Tanjiro being the first one to wake up, obviously. As I would state that the Hashiras all agree, no, the four Hashiras, between the four Hashiras, they agree that they won't basically kill this demon. But they are gonna have to keep it between the four Hashiras. If you're wondering how basically how they came up with this, I think it was the influence of the Water Hashira and Rengoku that basically the other two just caved in and they just accepted these terms. This is between the four of us, and only the four of us Hashira. If the Demon Slayer Corps learns about a Demon Slayer wandering with a demon and they are working together, they are going to have to turn to us, and we are going to have to explain, and also take the blame for Tanjiro. Remember that. As both Rengoku and the water user nods. As I see the insect user and the rest of the Hashiras would say, we'll be going now. If you're going to stay with this boy, then that's fine. But remember to get back to headquarters afterwards. As she would leave, with still having a smile on her face. As the water Hashira, I don't know his name again, would stay. As Tanjiro would wake up, looking around, wondering where the other three people were. Watahashi would state, calm down, kid. It's just me. Not here to fight you. Just here to tell you something. I suggest, if you want help, and want to find the one that did this to your sister, and also kill him, go to a mountain. My master will be there, and he will help you. As Tanjiro would state, yes. As I'm also stating that Tanjiro also picked up a few skills while he was busy fighting the other demon slayers. Especially, I think it was especially Rengoku, the Wind Hashira, and the Water Hashira. He got a few skills from them. Why? If you didn't know, the way they also learned is just by watching. Both Nezuko and Tanjiro learned the dance quite fast because they were constantly watching their father do it. Or Nezuko was constantly watching Tanjiro do it, and Tanjiro was constantly watching his father do it. So yeah, that's the only difference here. Now, yes, this is a big change. Four Hashiras know about Tanjiro, and Rengoku, Nezuko. Rengoku knew, like, he meets Rengoku quite early, and I bet you're wondering how is that possible. These, like, Rengoku would never agree to this, but Rengoku seen the determination in Tanjiro's eyes. Yeah, he couldn't deny his determination, and he couldn't revolt against it either. That was the eyes of flames, and even he, basically Tanjiro reminds him of himself. Water Hashira, same thing as the Water Hashira. Yeah. And because the Water Hashira and Rengoku worked together to convince the other two, yeah, they kept it to themselves. Or to the four Hashira's self. Now let's continue. As we still see the same adventure as in canon, being Tanjiro walking to a specific area near the mountains as he sees a demon. He still has his two axes with him, obviously, as he would pull out both of them instead of one. As Nezuko, also he made the, basically, how can I call it, the basket for Nezuko. As, yeah, Nezuko is now outside the basket because it's night. As he sees this demon, as he pulls out his two axes, stating it's one of these demons again. As we see this demon look at the two newcomers. This is my food. Get out of here. Wait a minute. This girl's a demon, but you? As this demon would lunge at Tanjiro immediately. Tanjiro being taken off guard on how fast he is and how quickly he could get to him, how quickly he covered the distance. As I would state that before the demon could even lay a finger on Tanjiro, Nezuko would turn and give the demon a sock to the face. A flaming sock to the face. Bam! As the demon is sent flying. As his body as well. His head went flying further, but his body just went flying. As his head crashed into a tree, basically going through two trees. As the body only hit a tree, his head went through two trees. As I would state that Tanjiro would see the body get up. As out of instinct he would attack the body, basically before it attacked anyone else. Attacking the arms first, using the lightning breathing that he knows to quickly dispatch of the arms. Bam bam, arms off, as he would strike the demon in the neck. Really nothing really happens as the demon's arms are off, it's just his body, as he would leave the demon as the sun would come up, basically killing it. As we see an old man with a mask come up. I think it was Kurosaki? Yeah, Kurosaki. As Kurosaki would say, impressive. You know a bit of breathing style. Well, you know the breathing style. You don't know the form yet. But that's no matter. My name is Kurosaki. I am the person that you should meet. My student told me about you. And I will train you to kill demons and also train you to find the one that changed your sister into this hideous monster and also find the cure to change her back. As Tanjiro would introduce himself, this is Tanjiro. His name is Tanjiro, and that is Nezuko. As Nezuko would be in the basket already. Obviously, going on from as in canon, he would still be trained by this basically Kurosaki, first by the mountain thing to basically for his breathing, running down the mountain, going up the mountain. Yeah, it gets very easy for him eventually, as he also started using some of his breathing dance techniques such as thunder and even wind when he's doing aerial jumps and stuff. As one day he did something odd. While he was running down, he jumped so high he was basically over the trees, as he was basically spazzing out, as he tells himself to calm down, that he needs to calm down and breathe, as he breathes in and uses the aerial style dance, or he uses the wind breathing to control himself in the air. As he lands on his feet with not much problem, really didn't hurt him. As he basically jumps, does a roll, as he avoids a few, I guess, arrows that was about to hit his skull. As he continues running down while using some of flame, water, earth, and even some wind to avoid a bunch of obstacles. I think it was Kurosaki. Kurosaki congratulates him and that he's getting faster, because Kurosaki wasn't even down at the bottom of the mountain, he was still busy setting up the last traps before Tanjiro came bolting down the mountain. As he also used his sense of smell and high sense of hearing. And oddly enough, Tanjiro can see in the dark. So that's new. Tanjiro has a great sense of smell, great sense of hearing. He can also you can also see in the dark. Yeah, that's very different. As yes, everything would go as in canon, this training would not go without a hitch. As the final test Kurosaki gives him, you need to cut this boulder in half. Obviously, Tanjiro tried, fail, yeah. As the two dead children's souls would appear and train Tanjiro as well. Train him to harness some of the abilities and be creative with what he can use. He knows so much things, more than even him, and that he doesn't even get the ideas of being creative with his abilities and not sticking to normal styles. As yeah, he basically learns some new things. He learns how to mix and match with his abilities. Mix and matching being thunder breathing with water breathing makes a very good combo. Evens fire and water. The rough way that the fire basically acts, plus water breathing, which has smooth motion, really mixes well. And some combos don't go well with each other. Earth and water, not really much. As I would state that he would continue basically training and split the boulder one day in half. Bam! Boulder would be split in half. As he would thank the two children and also thank Kurosaki. And tells Kurosaki to say hi to the two dead children that Tanjiro doesn't know they're dead. To say hi to I don't know their names, but say hi to those two for him. As I think I forgot the trainer's name now. As he would state, evens beyond the grave. These two are two great These two are two great students. As Tanjiro would be off to the final test to become a demon slayer. Obviously, he would get there, see two children, and they would state, beyond this forest or beyond these trees, there are demons. You must survive for you must basically kill them for 7 days. You must kill demons in here for 7 days and then come back out. That's it. It's a survival game for 7 days. As Tanjiro also wants to ask some demons some questions about how to turn a demon back into a human. He would go and get ready as he would enter the forest, killing a few demons, asking them a few questions. They refused to help him. Now, if you're wondering what breathing style Tanjiro is using, he's not using any breathing style. He's using all of them. He is mixing and matching his breathing style. So he's using a mix of, at the moment, he's using a mix of quick strikes with the flow or movement of water and the rough attacks of fire. He's also using for heavier or stronger demons the heavy attacks of earth and evens the aerial motions and aerial attacks of wind. Basically making his own style of combat and own style of breathing. He's also using something he always uses. Moon. As I'm going to tell you this ability now. As a few demons come at him, they're all around him. As he would basically close his eyes and take a breath in. Moon breathing. Moon slice. As he would mix it with thunder slash. As all he did was remove his katana. All he did was draw his blade, swing it a bunch of times, as the demons' heads all come flying off. Bam, 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 bam. As a flash of light goes off, all you see is crescent moons in the sky. Crescent moons. That's the last thing they see. That was a mixture of crescent moon and some of the lightning and the quick lightning techniques that Tanjiro has. As he will continue walking, asking some demons a bunch of questions until he comes across eventually the hand demon. As this hand demon would say, "Ooh, so another one of his kids here. Well, he better stop sending me these children, or otherwise I'm gonna kill all his children." This is the hand demon, obviously, the one that killed those two children. As he would continue rambling on how he killed one with a face scar and another one that was a child. Them two were both easy prey. As he would realize that those two weren't real. They were dead. He would put down his head. He would grip his sword, stating, I, you will pay for everything that you've done," as he would draw his sword in the thunder-breathing motion. As he would access one of the flame Hashiras, or sun Hashira, flame Hashira, whatever, breathing techniques. As he would also use lightning flash, as he would blitz in basically a big blow of thunder. Bam! He would rush to the demon at very fast speeds, the demon not having enough time to react, as he would send hands towards him, as he would say, "Moon breathing, crescent moon," as every hand that comes near him gets sliced in a crescent moon. Bam, 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 bam. As he would jump up, wind breathing, wind tornado, as he would spin and a wind tornado would appear, slicing all the hands that was about to hit him. As he gets very close to the demon, fire breathing, fire, I think it was flame, it's sun breathing, crescent sun, as he would slice the demon's head off with the crescent sun breathing. As he would also use a bit of earth for a heavier strike, sing clean off. As he states, "I hope whatever afterlife you go to, that God has mercy on your soul," as he would put his blade away, as the demon would turn to dust. Basically wondering how this kid is able to use this many breathing styles. It can't be. No, why me? As he would die. Tanjiro would survive 7 days and find the ore. Basically, girls would be at the same spot. Very little people would be alive, really, as these girls would offer ore. This random amount of ore, as they say, choose your ore. As the scene with the children and Tanjiro and that other demon slayer obviously still happens, but instead Tanjiro, what Tanjiro would do was, instead of asking, he would just slap the man's hand with the inside of his blade, or the hilt of his blade, very hard, bang, as he would let go of the girl. As Tanjiro would look at him stating, "Do that again, and they'll use my blade itself to cut off your hand. Understand?" As this man would say, "Whatever," as he would walk away. The girls would offer ore as Tanjiro would take a whiff, choosing the ore that's more familiar to him, and that he thinks is the one. He would grab it and walk away. As yes, obviously he would get back to Kurosaki. There's the name. Eventually came back to me. As he would see Nezuko awake. Nezuko was asleep for a while. Not as when Tanjiro left, Nezuko woke up. As yes, she was basically practicing at night, obviously, some of her styles. And Kurosaki was just watching how in awe how Nezuko is able to add breathing styles to even her fighting style. She didn't need a weapon, she could use her fists and claws. And even her tail was a deadly weapon, or her tails. She could also make blue fire and red fire. He didn't know what the difference between the blue fire and red fire was, but he didn't ask. She could also make a bunch of other techniques, but these are not her blood art. Her blood art is something very different. She also is physically stronger, and she has a weird healing factor. She doesn't need food at all. She doesn't need water, she doesn't need food, she doesn't even need to sleep. The only reason why she sleeps is if she is badly injured or if she uses too much energy, she sleeps. But really, she doesn't really need to sleep. She only woke up now because she saw her brother basically getting stronger, and she wanted to also get stronger to face off against the fates and find the person who done this to her, and also make him pay. As she's practicing kicks and punches on a tree, as she kicks a tree, basically entirely large tree, into half. Bam! Bam! The tree falls. Timber. Actually, no one said timber. I just said timber. So I'm the one that said timber. So no one. She didn't say timber. Kuro Sensei didn't say timber. So yeah. As he would see Nezuko, as he would give her a hug, stating that he will get stronger and kill the one that done this to you. He promised she will be human again, as she would hug him as well. This affection obviously still lasts as he passed the entrance exam. I think it was Kurosaki, there we go. Eventually comes back to me. Kurosaki states that he were holding a feast for Tanjiro's grading and as a demon slayer into the demon slayer call. As Tanjiro would also ask when his sword is coming, as he would state that he needs to wait just a few more days here. His sword will come eventually. As yes he does. He waits a few days as his sword arrives eventually. The sword maker states that he is quite excited to see a red sword. He's never seen a red sword before, and he would really like to see a red sword. As the oddest thing happened, instead of his sword turning black as the usual, his sword does turn red. As he's like, oh, look at that sword, it's beautiful. As this man starts crying, but something else happens. The hilt of the sword starts changing. It starts changing into a different rainbow color. Some a bit yellow, some a bit red representing fire. There's blue representing water, brown for earth, and green for wind. So, as the hilts I'm back again, and to be honest with you, I don't really know where I stopped. For you it was a short pause, for me it was a long one. Had a donut, had a cake, had a bit of drinks, and now I'm back, with a fresh mind to continue. Now, I think I stopped by explaining the sword. The hilt looked weird. It had a rainbow-ish texture with brown being earth, green being wind, light blue being water, and fire being basically like yellow being the sun breathing, a white being moon breathing, an odd red being flame breathing, and on the basically blade it had a rip. It looked like basically it looked like a red blade with just different textured hilt, a different colored hilt with a different form, or a different colored hilt. as on the back of the blade, instead of being red-ish, it had the color of water, and it was red. This confused everyone, but it kind of made sense to Kurosaki, because he knew what Tanjiro's dance technically was. It was the 5 basic elements of the breathing style that existed. So it would be obvious to have a representation. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. So yeah, his blade was kind of weird. It also had a weird pattern on it, but I can't explain how the pattern looks. Whoops! Can't explain how the pattern looks. As yeah, as the swordsmith would leave, as Tanjiro would be on his merry way and leave Kurosaki. Kurosaki would be waving goodbye and saying in his head that this would be one powerful demon slayer, and that he would change the fate of the world and even bring an end one day to demons across the world. He doesn't hope for this. He knows this. Tanjiro will be the one to kill Muzan and destroy demons entirely. He will be the savior of the Demon Slayer Corps. Continuing on. As we see Tanjiro on his merry way, as the Crow States go to a town nearby, girls are going missing. Teenage women or girls are going missing. Go to the nearest town. Girls are going missing. As Tanjiro would be on his way. Tanjiro gets to the town. Actually, you know what? Before I go into the next chapter of that arc, I'm gonna stop it here. All I'm gonna say is Tanjiro is on his merry way with Nezuko. As you can see Nezuko, how she looks. This is how Nezuko looks. But instead of with a cat tail, she has fox ears and foxtail. Foxtails. Whoops. Because it's plural. There's 9 of them. So yeah. And we'll go into a bit of more story behind Nezuko's abilities and more behind what type of skills is or what type of breathing technique will Tanjiro use in combine to make something new. So yeah, that's going to be in the next one. So until next time guys, this is my first time doing a Demon Slayer what if, so I don't know how good I was. Probably was horrible, but yeah, this is episode 1 of What If Tanjiro had all breathing styles, or what if Tanjiro had all 5 basic breathing styles. That's it for now guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you like the way I did this. Subscribe because my goal is to get to 1k subscribers, and also like because this also basically helps me with YouTube algorithm, and it also gets my videos out there for more people to watch this. Also don't forget to watch some of my other videos, like especially what if Deku was in the Ruby universe, or what if I was in the Ruby universe, and what if Deku was in a fantasy universe. Because what if I was in the Ruby universe is coming to an end nearly. I think next week I will be ending it, and or maybe today. And what if Deku was in a fantasy universe is going to be continuing after what if I was in Ruby universe. So once that finishes, then fantasy Deku universe is gonna continue, and big things are gonna happen on both of them. So you better watch, you better catch up and watch and be in tune, because you're gonna miss the good parts. So yeah, till next time guys, this is Rogue What Ifs out.